Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. We're hitting the halfway mark of this work week. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday. Our teacher for this week is Rumi, and I have some beautifully inspiring, empowering, uplifting words from Rumi for you today. Let's get right into it. Have you ever felt a flicker of something extraordinary within you? A tiny spark waiting to ignite. Perhaps it's a dream that you haven't dared to chase. Perhaps it's a talent yearning to be explored, or a deep well of potential untapped. The 13th century poet Rumi captures this beautifully. He says, "There is a candle in your heart ready to be kindled. There is a void in your soul ready to be filled. You feel it, don't you?" Good morning, Sunray. Good morning, Anne-Marie. Good morning, Stefan. Good morning, Anthony. Awesome seeing you all here. Let me read it again. There is a candle in your heart ready to be kindled. There is a void in your soul ready to be filled. You feel it, don't you? Sometimes fear, self-doubt, and negativity can dim that inner light and clip our metaphorical wings. Rumi reminds us, you were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You were not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly. Grania, good morning. Happy Wednesday. And Charlene, good morning. Welcome to the middle of the week. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly, says Rumi. How do we fan the flames of our potential and take flight? So we'll quickly touch on three things. First thing, hear the inner critic speaking. Number two, embrace mistakes as stepping stones. And number three, learn to speak from wisdom. The inner critic, the first step is acknowledging that the forces that stifle our growth are often ourselves. Often we are the biggest obstacle. We become our own worst critics, dwelling on past mistakes and engaging in negative self-talk. Remember, the voice inside you that judges and belittles you is not your true self. It is an old recording, a voice fueled by fear. This is not wisdom. Then, number two, embrace mistakes as stepping stones. We all make mistakes, inevitably. We might even repeat the same ones, but dwelling on them or using them as weapons of self-punishment only ever holds us back. Mistakes are lessons, opportunities to learn and grow. Treat yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a friend in a similar situation. Hey Pat, good morning, happy Wednesday. And now, number three, speak from wisdom. Learn how to speak from wisdom. Rumi offers a powerful tool for navigating communication. He says, before you speak, let your words pass through three gates. Before words come out of your mouth, let them pass through three gates. Number one, at the first gate, ask yourself, is it true? Are the words that I'm about to say, is it true? The second gate, is it necessary? Is it necessary to say these words? And number three, the third gate, is it kind? Three gates for your words to pass through. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? This wisdom applies not just to how we interact with others, but also to our internal dialogue. Choose words of encouragement and support when you speak to yourself. Foster a sense of self-compassion, even when you stumble. In fact, speak to yourself with kindness, especially when the worst part of you, the worst self, shows up. You'll find this fuels your fire and empowers you to soar. The last thought comes from David Gemmell, and it fits perfectly with the last quote from Rumi. Do not speak badly of yourself, for the warrior within hears your words and is lessened by them. Stephen, good morning. I'm always so happy to see you live with us. Shabs, good morning. Colette, good morning. Danae, good morning. It is awesome seeing all of you here. Do not speak badly of yourself. I'll read that one again. For the warrior within hears your words and is lessened by them. Our meditation today is called You Are Limitless. And I haven't had time to go and pick a flower to have here, but we'll stroll through the garden of our mind together to pick that flower. Vivian, good morning. You're just in time. Here we go. You can close your eyes and let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. As you breathe in, fill up your belly with air and raise yourself up. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go and allow your body to soften. With every exhale, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders and drop your head. While you continue your full body breathing, inhaling as you rise and exhaling as you fall, we'll go for a stroll through the garden of our mind and find a flower to pick. This garden could be right outside your front door. It could be some beautiful garden you've been in before. Or it could be a completely imaginary garden. What is the flower that you want to pick today? And after you've picked it, when you have it in your hand, take a seat in this garden and And while you continue your full body breathing, inhale the scent of this flower. What does this flower that you pick smell like? Your brain has the memory, and perhaps even with this imaginary flower in your hand, perhaps your brain can recall that memory. What does the stem of this flower feel like between your fingers? And what are the sights and the sounds in the garden around you? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. Roll out your neck muscles. Go forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left, and also lean your upper body over to the right. And while we have a flower ready for our meditation today, just imagine for a moment this flower swaying in the breeze as your spine curves to the left and your spine curves to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. If you are here for the whole journey, with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. We'll do the first few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want to remind you of the flower you picked. Lean into a bit of imagination and hold that flower in your hand. Take your next big breath. Eckhart asks the question, was it perhaps a flower that sparked awakening in human beings? It seems as though, for the most part, animals don't have a sense of what is beautiful, in awe of something that is just so incredibly beautiful. We often have that sense, even with small things, little things like a flower. Might it be that idea, picking a flower, looking at it and being in awe of this beauty, might that be what sparked awakening in humans? I enjoy the question. Take your next big breath. Holding this flower in your hand, feel its stem between your fingers and take a closer look. Study the stem of this flower that you picked. Is it a hard and woody stem? Is it a smooth stem? Is it a hairy stem? Is it a hollow stem? As you take your next big breath, study the stem of this flower you picked. Take your next big breath. Follow the stem up to the base of the flower and just take a look at this perfection. How the stem turns into these green, almost petals. The green stem turns into this little green bowl, almost looks like cupped hands that hold the base of the flower together. Just look at that perfection. Take your next big breath. and study the underside of this flower, the underside of the petals. See how the petals emerge from the base in a beautiful, often perfectly geometrical pattern. Take your next big breath. And turn the flower over and trace the outer edges of the petals. Are the petals all evenly shaped, with even spaces between each? Or are the petals more frilly? And sometimes not so symmetrical? What do the petals look like on the flower that you picked? Take your next big breath. Now really get into the color of this flower, the color of the petals. How would you describe this color? And even if you don't know anything about painting, because I certainly don't, the question I'm asking myself is, what colors would I have to mix with paint to try and match the color of the petals on this flower? Take your next big breath. And then bring your attention to the center of this flower. This could again be vastly different from one flower to the next. It could be a spongy, green or yellow center with lots of pollen. It might be more trumpet-shaped descending into the depths of the flower. Whatever the center of this flower looks like, the one that you picked, do you have appreciation for the perfect design that invites the cooperation of insects to help spread? As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, take a moment to dwell on how perfectly this is designed. Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every fiber of your being. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. We tend to do this relatively easy with a flower. We can pick it up, study its details, and exclaim perfection. Isn't it just perfect? And of course it is. And while we say that, we tend to completely glance over the flaws, because if you were to look closely and search, you'll find them. First, you'll find one group of cells that didn't quite divide the way they should have. It's not quite perfect there. When you find one and you keep searching, you'll find many more. And still, holding this flower in your hand, even when you find the imperfections, you are likely to say, oh, still it's perfect in its imperfection. Perfectly imperfect. There's even a Japanese word that describes exactly that sense. The sense that, of course, something is flawed, but even that makes it perfect for what it is. The Japanese word for this is wabi-sabi. Perfectly imperfect. Do you use the same lens when you look at you? Can you look at the human being you are and say, perfect? And even when I take into account my flaws, perfectly imperfect. We tend to struggle doing that for ourselves. Yet, and I tend to steer away from comparison, but I think this one is helpful. Compared to this flower, even though it is crazy beautiful, this one expression is all it has. This is it for the flower, nothing more. One expression. But you, beautiful human being, you have already expressed yourself in ways uncountable. The ways in which you can create that you haven't even discovered yet are limitless. Your ability to express yourself is so much more. So if you're able to look at this flower and say, perfect, practice using the same lens when you look at you. Perfectly imperfect. I want to share Rumi's words with you one more time. He says, there is a candle in your heart ready to be kindled. There is a void in your soul ready to be filled. You feel it, don't you? He says you were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You are not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings, learn to use them and fly. Very often, the biggest obstacle in our way is ourselves. The way we speak to ourselves. The disempowering voice of our inner critic. And for that as well, Rumi has some advice. Learn to speak from wisdom, even when it is speaking to yourself. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. At the first gate, ask yourself, is it true? Are these words I'm about to speak true? At the second gate, ask, is it necessary? Are these words I'm about to say, are they necessary to be said? And at the third gate, ask, is it kind? Are the words I'm about to speak kind? And David Gemmell's thought on a similar idea says, do not speak badly of yourself, for the warrior within hears your words and is lessened by them. This doesn't mean that we can shut out or shut down or silence the inner critic. But we need to learn what it is we're listening to. We need to understand that that is just an old recording. We may hear it, but understand that there is an old voice speaking in fear. We can learn to listen to it, to hold it, to give it a safe space to be heard, but then choose to speak from wisdom. Because the warrior within hears and will either be empowered or disempowered by the words you choose to speak to you. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and you are invited to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this beautiful teaching by Rumi. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the image of this flower. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning, understanding, realizing that if I can be so in awe of a flower that has only this one limited expression, then I should be able to see myself in a different light. Take a deep breath in. I understand that the ways in which I can create that I have not even discovered yet are many. Thank you. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being a part of our journey today. Thank you for taking a stroll through the garden of the mind and picking a flower, and letting your imagination have a journey with this flower. Good morning, Maggie. Really good to see you. Hey, Pape, good morning. Good evening, I guess, where you are. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Grania. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Charlene. And I'm not sure who I've left out. Have a beautiful day. Try and recall this picture of the flower. In fact, try and pay attention today when you are somewhere close to flowers to stop. Inhale that scent, and perhaps even if it's your thing, pick a flower and take it with you. Have an awesome day. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.